was not born a reader. Not just that, I did not like reading for a major part of my life till one day where I had nothing to lose and I was like, wait, oh my god, something like this exists in the world, and that led me to choose another book, and that led me to choose another book, and I was like, I cannot believe I'm getting this sort of entertainment, education and inspiration, and it is barely costing me anything compared to the other things that I do to educate myself or entertain myself. That is when I had decided that I really need to talk about this to more people. I really need more people to see that something like this exists in a world. Books exist in the world. You open up one book and you open the door to a whole new world, and you learn so much and you have so much fun and joy in your life. And that is how this channel came into being. Now all I want to do is influence as many people as I can to start reading books. But being a non-reader myself since the beginning of time, I do realize how overwhelming it can be to start a book, to commit to those pages, which is why while I make genre specific videos for beginners again and again here and there, I do come up with these videos every year or every other year where I help you to choose that one book that may lead you to buy the other one and then buy another one and get into the world of books and reading. Hey you cuties, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Hi, if you are new, welcome to the channel, to the world of books. I really hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, please do consider subscribing. In today's video, I'm going to be recommending 14 books, 7 non-fiction books, 7 fiction books. There is something for everyone, whether you want to start for entertainment or you want to educate yourself with non-fiction books. I am going to link multiple other videos in the description. You can check it out as a beginner. Also, I'm coming up with teenage recommendations next week, and a lot of those books are also beginner friendly, but I do not want to repeat my recommendations, which is why I'm not recommending it in this video. So do look out for that video too. And without further ado, let's begin the video. We are going to start with non-fiction, and the first book I want to recommend is Badass Habits by Jen Sincero. I think all my beginner friendly videos do have one book by Jen Sincero, simply because she welcomes you into the world of books and educations in the most badass, funny, quirky, accept yourself the way you are way. She never makes you feel less. She never makes you feel like there is something wrong with you right now. She just tells you that, hey, if you are dreaming of a bigger life, it is totally possible. Let me show you how. If you find yourself in a position where you use those practical steps, but you still haven't been able to build habits that will get you a long way, then you need Badass Habits by Jen Sincero, because she talks about the emotional side of habits, something that is missed out by a major chunk of us. A lot of times we do not believe in the fact that we are deserving of what we wish for, and that is why no matter how hard you try to build habits, you don't do it because your subconscious is like, wait, is that, I don't really think you can get that. But when you're reading Badass Habits, you work at the root cause of the problem. You start working on your subconscious in the easiest way ever, and that is why this book is so freaking beginner friendly. It is so easy to read and the steps are so easy to follow in your life. It's going to be this easy for you to start building habits and change your life. Next up, we have a money book, and this is definitely the money book of the year for me. Every year I have one book that I read repeatedly in the money world because it helps my subconscious and my conscious to be focused on the things I can control and learn things that will help me to make more money in my life. And the book for this year is Money, What's Left, What's Right by Dhanashree Bhatkal. I am not a beginner, and yet I have read this book once already, and I'm planning to reread it again in the middle of the year, the whole month, and do everything mentioned in the book because of how amazing it is, how well structured it is, how easy to do it is. Plus, it captures both sides of money, the left and the right, where you're working on your money mindset, but it also talks about the practical steps that will help you to build a good financial life for yourself. Even if you are not a reader and you will not read any book at all from the entire list, I think you definitely must give this book a shot. If you're the kind of person who has been trying to do everything in the world to make good money and you think you do deserve it, but you always missing out on like some small things and you're like, why isn't this happening for me? Then this book is amazing for you. Plus, because it is written by an Indian author, you get to know more about the steps that you can take in the Indian economy itself, which again is utterly helpful. Very easy to read. Take your time with it and do everything that the book says. It will take time, it will take efforts, but you'll be able to see results almost instantly when you're doing doing the work given in the book. It is a life-changing book. Next up, we have a book that will help you to travel without moving an inch from your bed. And that book is Inner Trek by Mohan Ranga Rao. The reason I'm recommending this to you as a beginner is because you need to realize all the things you can do through a book without moving from your bed. Such a soothing and calming book for me. It is definitely one of the comfort books. This is the story of a man who is surrounded by problems that he did not think that he can solve, but they do get solved, and now he wants to give gratitude. Not give gratitude. Now he wants to pay gratitude, and for that he takes a trip to Mount Kailash. It is a real story of a real man. It is super duper funny. It is super duper raw and authentic and engaging. And apart from the fact that you get to travel, apart from the fact that you also get tips and tricks in case you want to travel there yourself, it also has images in the book that makes it such an interactive experience. There is an underlying spiritual philosophical layer throughout the book of a real man going through real realizations. This book will actually make you question things, open up your eyes, and help you so much in your self-discovery journey that you would want to read more books and go further on that path. Next book will help you realize how small actions every single day are going to change your life forever, and this again was mind-boggling for me. And the book is Make Your Bed. Mr. Raven has taken the Navy SEAL training, and he learned a few things while he was going through that training, and he talks about those things in his speeches, and all of that has been turned into a book. Now imagine, can you take the Navy SEAL training yourself? No. Can you hear all the speeches in the world? No. But you can read a book and learn the things that he has learned during that rough training from the comfort of your bed. This book talks about 10 principles like making your bed. 10 very small, normal day-to-day things that can be done by every single person that not only helped him during his training, but they also ended up helping him in his entire life. And now it is helping thousands and thousands of people change their own life. This book is insanely short. You don't even have to finish the book at once. And these are things you can actually do in your life, because a small thing like making your bed can genuinely change your life, and it can help you change the world, and I'm not going to let you miss out on that. So if you're the kind of person who gets overwhelmed by changes, or you try to do a lot of things at once when you're trying to change, this is your book. You have to guess which book it is if you're watching the channel since a long time. If you have guessed it, put it in the comment section. The next book, the most beginner friendly book in the world, and the one book that will turn you into a reader, is 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Weiss. She has also written The Mountain Is You, and I have read that also, but I don't think that is the first book you should be reading, because it's like so much work at once that your mind will just like stop working. And so you start with this book. This book is an all-rounder, 101 essays. Again, you don't have to finish the book at once. It gives you the raw truth about yourself. Sometimes a lot of things are drowning in your gut. Your own voice is drowning in your gut because of the noise of the world. There's social media, there are people around you. It is so difficult sometimes to remember what it is that you genuinely want, what you can expect from yourself, and what you define as happiness and success. This book will help you with all of those things. It will help you with your mindset. It gives you practical steps to change your mindset, and it is a life-changing book. It definitely changed my life, and I owe so much to this book. This book is going to be like this loud voice that you need in your mind to empower yourself and remember, wait, you know what, I can handle this. It will not tell you to, oh, always think positive. It will tell you, you know what, your negative thinking is there for a reason, let's listen to it. It won't tell you, oh, come on, follow your passion. It will tell you, yeah, okay, passion is a little overrated and it is good for some time, but your purpose matters more. Things that you should be listening to even if you don't want to, and things that will actually put you straight in line. Next up, we have I Want to Die But I Want to Eat Tekkbokki by Baek Sihi, translated by Anton Her. This one is also a memoir of a woman who has persistent and consistent depression, and she thought that, oh, and a woman, by a woman I mean the author herself, and she thought that, oh, this is what life is like, but then certain things happened in her life that makes her question that, is this all that my life is going to be like? And so she starts to take therapy, and this book is the transcription of the therapy that she has taken. This is one of the easiest books to read, especially when it comes to self-esteem. Self-esteem is the one thing that affects everything in our life. What you do and what you don't do, it all comes down to self-esteem and what you think about yourself. We see the journey of the author going from having really low self-esteem because of everything that she has been through in her life to actually discovering what it can be like and elevating her self-esteem. It will also help you to understand the importance of therapy, and when you read this book, you'll realize that if you feel lost in your life and if you feel like nothing is going right and if you have these feelings of like hatred towards yourself because of any reason, you are not alone, and that is not all there is in the world. Last but not the least, in the non-fiction section, we have What I Talk About When I Talk About Running by Murakami. This is the memoir of so many memoirs today. This is the memoir of Murakami. Murakami is one of the greatest authors of our time, and if you have ever read any Murakami book, then it is a must read. But even if you have not read it, you must know that he writes crazy books which are like insane and amazing, and he writes magical realism. But the reason you should be reading this book and the reason it can be your first book is because you see that this man who is changing the world in his own way has like the simplest routines ever, is the simplest man ever, and you see his journey of becoming a novelist, and the philosophy of his life is explained through the art of running because he loves running. He talks about what he talks about when he's talking about running and what it actually does to his life, what he has learned from running itself. Now obviously this can push you to run for yourself, but this book is not meant to motivate you to run. The way I see it, it actually helps me understand that simplicity and a simple life is what I look forward to. A simple life is the key to an amazing life, and if you ever doubt that, if you ever see the world being all shiny and everything and you feel like why is my life so simple, read this book and you'll realize that when it comes down to it, true happiness and peace and calmness roots out from simplicity. After that, we have fiction books, and the first book, actually a series that I want to recommend, is the Shiva trilogy. The Shiva trilogy by Amish is the story of a man who is just living his life and but him and his people are going through certain things, which is why he is seeking protection, which is when he goes to Meluha. But when he goes to Meluha, things happen which he did not expect, and now he is the Neelkant. He is the chosen one because he has a blue throat. He is supposed to banish the evil and help the good to rise, and it's one of the best series I have ever read. It is I'm so happy that it is beginner friendly. This can definitely be that series that gets you into the world of reading. If you are a fan of mythology, if you have watched like Ramayana and Mahabharata and you love it and you've never experienced that in the bookish world, this book will help you to experience it in the bookish world. It is filled with thrill. It is not slow at all, and honestly speaking, the entire series can be bought in like very less money, and that matters a lot when you're a beginner, so you don't have to invest a lot of money into it. Just buy the first book. If you do like it, then buy the second book. You will taste what it is like to be in the fiction world and you will never want to leave it. Next up in the series itself, we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. If you like true crime podcasts or you watch true crime a lot, like movies and series, then this book is going to be great for you. This is a story of Pippa who has to choose a project for her school, and so she picks up on the case of Andy Bell, who has died 5 years ago. We already have the murderer, who is Sal Singh, but Pippa does not believe that he is actually the murderer. So now she starts her own investigation. The reason I recommend this book to you as a beginner is because it's not just like a book that has all text. It has production logs. If there is an interview going on, it will be in conversation style, and it's utterly fast to read, and it's utterly easy to get through this book. You will not realize when you have finished it, and you will want to read more of it as you go ahead because you want to know what is going to happen. I recommend the first book for sure as a beginner, but if you do enjoy the first book a lot, you can go ahead to read the second and the third book. You must know, however, that the second and the third book get really dark and sinister, and they also have adult themes in them, and it is so much fun to read, especially for a person like me who loves darkness and creepiness in her life. And if you like that, go ahead and read it. It gets better than this when it comes to the darkness quotient. But in the beginning, buy the first book, see if you're invested in the characters and in this world or not, and if you are not, then just read the first book. The next two books are utterly close to my heart. The first book is Anxious People by Frederick Backman. We also have A Man Called Avi, but I think I've already recommended it before or something, or I'm gonna recommend it in the teenage video, which is why I don't have it in this list, because that is also an amazing book to read. This is a story of a robbery gone wrong. 7 people are trapped in one house because the bank robber has done some sort of mishap, and now we get to see who is the robber, what actually happened, and we get into the lives of the 7 people. I recommend this as your first book because it will give you joy, it will make you cry, it will make you feel relatable to one of the characters at least, because there are 7 characters and you get to see so many different variety of people, and the characters just stay with you. It's one of the most emotional books I have ever read in my whole life, and I just love it so much. You will not believe that a book can actually make you feel so much. Let this be your first book and let it change your life in a way where you never ever get out of books anymore. I'm telling you, you're gonna be screaming and searching on the internet. Oh my god, I need more books like this. So tell me where I can find it. You can find it on the channel. You can find it on my channel. So go and check it out. The next this book is Almond by Won Young Son. I really hope that's how you take the name. Look at the cover. I bought the book for the cover and because it's very interesting, like the blur, but I stayed for the story and I stayed for the character. This is a story of a boy who is born with a condition of alexithymia, where he is not able to feel or express any of his emotions. He does not know what it is like to be happy. He does not know what it is like to be sad. He does not cry. Nothing at all. No emotions whatsoever. So with this cover and with this story where a boy cannot feel or express emotions, I bought the book. But when I started reading the book, I could not get out of it. It was one of the best books I have read in 2022 because something horrible happens with him. Horrible. And he knows that it's something horrible, but he is not able to feel the emotions. And after that, he is left all alone in the world to navigate through the whole world without being able to express his emotions. So he can do nothing. He can't be scared. He can't. It's insane how he can't do anything, and he's such a young boy, and you see his journey through that. If you like stories from a young child's perspective, if you like vulnerability, if you like deep connections, and you like the best quotes in the world, and you want to appreciate the ordinary world and just basically get your heart clutched like hell, then this is an amazing book. Next up we have romance, because romance makes a lot of people readers. I already have 2 videos on romance, so you can go and check that out also. But the one book that I will recommend in the romance genre that will not only help you to be a reader but also fall in love with the book world is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is the story of Nora and Charlie. Nora is a literary agent. Charlie is an editor. They have met multiple years ago, but they don't start off at the right foot. And years later, when Nora has gone for a vacation with her sister, she runs into Charlie, and it is a small town, so they keep running into each other, and you see what happens after that. Now there's enemies to lovers, which is always amazing. 2 people who hate each other end up together, and what is better than that? But more than that, the aesthetics in the story, the love for books, why people get into books and never get out of it. Then there's coffee, there's warmth, there's physical exercise. Nora is talking about her mother who is no more, but she clings to her memory. So many relationships, so many things to discover. This is not just a romance, it's so much more than that, and it warms my heart. So I'm hoping that when you read this book, you will realize that there is a world out there, and there are people in that world, and there is a reason that they stick to that world, and those reasons are given in this book. Next, if you like thrillers, then this is the book for you. Good Girl's Guide to Murder is also a thriller, but that is more like a crime thriller. So if you like true crime and stuff, you will like that. But this one is mystery, suspense, thriller, and dark. It's dark. And the book is Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Fleeny. This one book will definitely make you fall in love with reading because the ending is insane. A husband and a wife have decided to take a vacation to revive their marriage. They have been married since 10 years, but they have issues going on, and so they take the vacation. But when they reach the place of the vacation, things are not the way they were supposed to be, and it's all really shady basically. As they stay over there, you get to know that they have secrets that have not been revealed in 10 years. That is all I can say. That is all the information I can give you. But you just have to trust me on this and buy the book. Even if it is your first book. If you like mystery, suspense, thriller, buy this book. Super duper easy to read. It also has multiple perspectives, which means you get in the head of each character, and that is actually amazing as a beginner because you don't have to keep track of everything. It's all woven together and it's very easy to remember. You will taste darkness and you will taste creepiness and you'll be like, yeah, I want more of it. And when you will want more of it, I am coming up with a thriller video very soon, in like next month or next to next month itself, so you will get more of it. But that is not the only thriller book that I have. It is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie is one of the most beginner friendly authors. This is the story of 10 people who have been invited to an island for multiple reasons, but then once they reach over there, they are stranded and people start dying and you're like, wait, what is going on? I will tell you, it will take you a few chapters, like a couple chapters, to get into the book. And if it is difficult for you to read the first 2 chapters, do not keep it and don't be like, oh, it's because I'm not a reader, or oh, it's just happening with me, because that's not true. I have been reading since years and it still happened with me. But what makes it beginner friendly is what happens after those 2 chapters and the way Agatha Christie writes. There is a level of innocence in her writing, plus the language is very easy to read. And even though there are 10 characters, after the first 2-3 chapters, it won't be difficult for you at all to remember them because of how well they are written. This book is a masterpiece. It's literally art, the way the things happen, and when you read the book, you'll realize what all can be done in a book. A book is not just, oh yeah, look, it's a book. It's just a whole other world where anything can happen. And with that, we come towards the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed the video and you got at least one recommendation for yourself. I'll see you guys again very soon. Don't forget to watch the teenage video too for beginner friendly recommendations. I love you so much.